The aim of this short video will be to speak to some of the elements on what we refer to as the RCAF Association Business Ecosystem and Stakeholder Value Map. Now, if we're to portray the stakeholder value map, it would be important for us to identify who our stakeholders are. It's important to mention the definition of a stakeholder. A stakeholder is an individual or an entity that benefits from what we do as an organization. And stakeholders are also the ones whose actions are of benefit to us, to our organization as well. So the stakeholder value map is depicted in this, I call it the third ring from the outside. The first ring, the second ring, the third ring. It identifies all of the organizations that I think are our stakeholders. For example, the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum, the Bomber Command, International Bomber Command Memorial in Lincoln, and the Bomber Command Memorial across from the RAF Club in London, England, the Royal Canadian Legion, St. Anne de Bellevue Hospital, Esprit de Corps Magazine, the Canadian Society of Association Executives, from whom we obtain Directors and Officers Insurance, NAV Canada, NATO, the United Nations, MLM, I think it is MLM Publishing that produces RCAF magazine once a year. There are all kinds of stakeholders, Chris Hadfield, for example, and his corporation, that we need to be cognizant of. We need to understand what their needs are when it comes to the RCAF Association. And at the same time, we need to be connected to them and reaching out to them to see if there's anything we can do for them. So I started on the third ring on the inside. I'll jump back to the first ring, the outer ring, which happens to be the value ring. We've used value badges that were developed by the Bain and Company, a group of consultants, strategy consultants, that analyzed exactly what values people derive from the services and products that are offered by companies. And what we did was we've collected testimonials from our members over many decades, and there's a record of those testimonials here and there. And over the past 16 years, I've been able to study those records, and they informed my selection of the value badges that I have depicted in the outer ring of our stakeholder value map. Camaraderie, for example, I could see here, and self-transcendence, updates, informs, sensory appeal. Some of our members like to build airplane models, either out of wood or plastic model kits. There's a sensory appeal, of course, when you include really good photographs of aircraft in RCAF Association magazines, Air Force. And that's what one of the values those individuals derive from the work that we do. Saves time, makes us money, informs and educates. We are partners with EBSCO. You'll find them on our value map there in the third ring. And EBSCO distributes our magazine around the world digitally. And the magazine itself informs and educates people interested in Canadian Air Force history and activities the Canadian Air Force itself are taking on. Reduces costs, integrates attractiveness. There are all kinds of value badges. Each and every one of them is drawn from the testimonials that members have provided us over the years. The next ring inside that are a set of verbs that respond to the question, what do we do? There are two questions every individual asks of themselves whenever they confront the decision to join. And it doesn't matter what kind of organization you're thinking about joining. We all ask the same things. What's in it for me? And what's in it for the good of the order? They're difficult questions to answer, but a poster like this one helps. And if you can draw from this some ideas about what we do in a way that helps you respond to those two questions, you're going to be more likely successful bringing those individuals into the membership. What's in it for me? That's a question answered by the value badges. You can talk to them about what we do, what products, programs, and services we offer. Somehow, somewhere, one of these value badges is going to resonate with them. And they're going to say, yeah, I like that. It will evoke pride with my mother if you're able to talk about what my father did in the Second World War, or the Cold War, or the Korean War, what have you. That's how that works. Additionally, in reference to what we do, are these verbs: commemorate, inculcate, motivate, illuminate, donate, narrate. There's a set of verbs here that's just a small subset of the things that we do, provides you with exactly the emphasis you need to explain what it is we do, why we do it, who benefits from it, and etc. Finally, the inside ring around the roundel immediate is the functions, or the manifest function, which is advocacy, and the latent functions, which are youth, commemoration, heritage, camaraderie, and democracy. The advocacy function is our manifest function. It's the main function for explaining why we were created in the first place. All the other functions came along after, but they're almost just as important. There's a reason why we do them. And if we're able to explain the manifest function and the latent functions to our members and our prospects, we'll be doing a great job recruiting and retaining members.